win the Drivers' Championship?
In front of Harry, or Harry should not be in the first fifth.
And what about the manufacturers for Talbot?
Datsun should win, and we should not be in the first seventh.
Do you think both of those are achievable?
For the makes, it's achievable. For the drivers, it has to be achieved.
Now, this year has been one of mixed fortune. Harry's been driving particularly well. Are you going to be able to sort of slow him down on this to keep him...
Yes, he's got the right frame of mind as we start now. He knows what the task is in hand, and there's no question about having to slow him down at all.
Well, it will be, I should say, slightly slower than usual. And see how the Guy and the others are doing, and see after first day whether we are in top 10 or not, and, drive accordingly.
I feel that I have the same tactic than last year. Halfway through the rally, easy, and not let the others, go too far. And then it's quite easy to say, if you are 1 minute behind the leaders or you are 10 minutes, then you must give up.
Certainly looking forward to it, and it's the first event we've done this year where we haven't had championship points to worry about, so we're just going to go ahead and enjoy the rally and see how well we can do.
I think RSA is very special, and I think for me I consider it like an experience first, and if I can have a good result it's okay, but for me I start like to be in the experience rally.
I think our chances are best ever, really. We've got the best car. It's been very competitive all year in the championship. It's nice to drive, it's easy to drive, so we'll just have to see how Lady Luck plays us.
When you say you've got the best car, some people might question that with the Quattro here and so on. And, are you afraid of that?
Obviously, yeah, it's four-wheel drive and it's very, very quick, but this car, against all the normal cars, conventional cars, has been very competitive. So I don't see why it shouldn't be on this event unless one of these Quattros steams off and murders us all.
Oh, it will be a good car here. Of course, the first year for that kind of complicated car, it will be a lot of problems and a lot of testing. But I think we have done that now, and I think car will be now reliable and good.
What do you think the conditions are going to be like for the next couple of days?
If it rains, it's super.
This year, the rally is to be flagged away by Minister of Sport Neil McFarlane, who chats to the drivers before the start.
What is the forecast?
Rain and more rain.
More rain and more rain, and no freezing when you get north of the border?
Well, fingers crossed.
Is it your first taste of banning?
It's absolutely my first taste, yes. I've been in Chester many times before. I was stationed here in the Army about 20-odd years ago, but it's the first time that I've attended, and I'm greatly honoured to be asked to flag away the first car. Sir Clive, chairman of the RAC, has asked me to do it, and so I'm delighted to be here. I'm hoping the British teams are going to do well. That's what it's all about. And this is a great event for the United Kingdom. It isn't just for us. It's also part of the international dimension of motor rallying. So it's a great honour for me to be here.
First to be flagged away from the picturesque Chester start is last year's winner, the young Finn, Henry Toivonen, in his Talbot Sunbeam Lotus. Next away, Ari Vatanen and David Richards in the Rothmans Escort, aiming for the World Drivers' Championship. Marco Alain, who's bought the Lancia Stratus out of retirement, just wants to win the event, while Guy Freckelin is Vatanen's championship rival. But the man they all fear is twice former winner Hannu Mikkola in the amazing turbocharged four-wheel drive Audi Quattro on its first British rally appearance. Toivonen's car, co-driven by Ulsterman Fred Gallagher, is the first to appear before the hundreds of thousands of rally fans who flock to the spectator stages which start the action in the Midlands on Sunday morning. Toivonen's Talbot Sunbeam Lotus is spearheading the Coventry-based team's attack on the manufacturer's World Championship. Second through Donington Park is Vatanen's Escort. True to his word, the normally spectacular Finn is well in control. A big favourite with the crowd, the Ferrari-engined Lancia Stratos of Alain finds the early going slippery, though the driver still believes that this is the car to win the event. Freckelin took third place last year with a cautious drive on his first ever outing in Britain. The stakes are higher this year, with the World Championship still undecided. Mikola, winner of countless world-class rallies, is looking to give the Quattro its first British victory. Previously used to sideways motoring, he now opts for the straighter racing line around the corners. But heading the world's best on the opening special stage at Weston Park is Britain's top hope on the event, Tony Pond, in his Vauxhall Chevette. Datsun's hopes for the manufacturer's World Championship lie with the bespectacled Finn, Timo Salonen. He won the last round of the World Championship on the Ivory Coast, where survival counts. But his car possibly lacks the outright speed needed on British rally terrain. Former world champion and previous winner of the Lombard RAC Rally, Swede Bjorn Valdegaard leads another Japanese attack with his Toyota Celica. Monte Carlo rally winner Jean Ragnotti bounces along in his Renault 5. But this is no ordinary Renault, as its turbocharged engine is behind the driver. Through the Trentham Garden stage, its antics are reminiscent of a frog. Michel Mouton, in the second Audi Quattro, made rallying history by winning the Italian round of the World Championship. The attractive French girl is suffering from a heavy cold, but her spirited driving soon makes her a great favourite with the crowd. Another new car to Britain is the Colt Lancer. Following the current trend, its engine is turbocharged. Swede Anders Kulang, who led the rally last year in his Opel, is driving only his third rally in the car. A more familiar name to Lombard RAC rally fans, Pentti Ricola. The British-based Finn is Vatanen's teammate. He's proved his speed on many occasions, but is still looking for a win on Britain's premier event. Sweden's Per Eklund is also a familiar face to rally followers. He's competed regularly this year in his Toyota Celica, but is again looking for a good result. Ten years ago, Stig Blomqvist won this rally, and his name is synonymous with front-wheel drive Saab cars. When the Swedish manufacturer withdrew from the sport, he changed to a rear-wheel drive Talbot and is proving just as spectacular. Equaling Pond's time on the first Weston Park stage is the other top British hope, Jimmy McRae, in his Opel Ascona 400. On his way to winning this year's Open Rally Championship title, he's proved that his speed can match the legendary Flying Finns. Midlander Russell Brooks is in front of his home crowd, but his Talbot Sunbeam Lotus is doomed to retirement in a muddy ditch late on a Sunday night. A similar fate lies in store for the talented Malcolm Wilson, ending a miserable season for the popular Cumbria driver. But British morale is kept high by Terry Kaby in his Toyota Celica, with early speeds faster than his more experienced Swedish teammates. Only American driver on the rally, John Buffum, thrills the crowd with the very British Triumph TR7 V8. But eventually he's another competitor doomed for retirement, as is Swedish Opel driver Bjorn Johansson. New Zealander Rod Millen adds another Japanese manufacturer's name to the entry list with his Mazda RX-7. Though it's not the best car for the British forests, it survives to tell the tale. But marathon rally winner Andrew Cowan's Colt doesn't. By Sutton Park, Mikola's Quattro has taken the lead.
Car number 16, Tony Pond.
Pond's Chevette loses power in the water splash, but he soon recovers. His performance on the fast tarmac stages gives the crowd something to cheer about, though he's dropped to second place. Alain takes the water splash cautiously, but in his later effort to move up the field, he puts the sleek Lancia Stratos off one of the slippery forest roads, ending forever the car's chances of winning this rally. Despite his spectacular style, Toivonen's made a slow start and is well down the leaderboard.
Harry Vatanen and Dave Richards. Dave Richards, British driver.
Vatanen said he was going to take things cautiously, but no one expected this cautiously, and he too is not yet in the top 10. Nonetheless, he tackles Knowsley Safari Park in fine style. McRae keeps up the home challenge in third. While Frenchman Guy Fréquelin is another waiting for the rally to reach the forests of the Lake District, Scotland and Northumbria before making his challenge. But for Mikkola, there's no waiting. Only first is good enough. Valdegaard is yet another top name soon to retire with a broken car. The little Renault 5 Turbo is proving tough enough for the event, and Ragnotti, who's got British journalist Martin Holmes co-driving, is now fifth. Anders Kulang and Bruno Berglund in the Colt Lancer are also in the top 10. George Hill's Chevette tackles Knowsley's monkey enclosure. As does Ragnotti's teammate Bruno Sabi, who later rolls his expensive Renault 5 Turbo as the cars head into the forests for the night stages. After one of the wettest nights in the history of the Lombard RAC Rally, the cars arrive at the Washington breakfast halt near Newcastle. It's been a dramatic night during which Mikkola rolled his Quattro, temporarily handing the lead to Pons Chevette.
The start wasn't so good, you know. I was on the roof for maybe 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, but after that it has gone quite well.
What actually happened when you rolled, Hanno?
I was just driving too fast in the fog. I got faster than I could see. That was the reason, you know. And suddenly it was 90 left and I rolled there.
Henri Toivonen has hit more serious trouble, and last year's winner walks dejectedly away, out of the rally.
Henry, what happened?
Hello. The engine was sealed after stage number 19 on the road section. We're just going gently and... oh, I don't know. Maybe it's crankshaft.
You're obviously very disappointed.
Well, yes, I must say that I'm quite disappointed because we were quite enjoying the rally.
Good morning. How was it last night?
It's very difficult.
What, with the rain and everything?
Much rain, yes. Little fog.
You're still doing very well then. You're in 8th place, I understand.
For me, it's better with the fog.
What have the stages been like during the night, Tony?
Terrible. I've never seen anything quite so bad, really. The rain's been coming down in stair rods, and it's just slush and mud and no grip.
Jim, what sort of night you had?
Dreadful.
Why?
No, just the car's gone all right, but it's just the weather. Mud killed us, was terrible.
Oh, it was difficult in Kildene Forêt because it was really fast and it was quite difficult for me. But after it was okay. And now I think it's okay. The day is coming, so it's better for me.
On the run back to Chester, Mikkela's pulled out a 6-minute lead over Vatanen, who's two-wheeling through the Yorkshire forests. Pond is in a fine third place, but his rally is nearly run. He's soon to retire with half-shaft failure. Michel Mouton continues in fourth place. McRae is fifth, upholding British honours. Blomqvist sixth, upholding Talbot honours. Frekkelin is seventh and unable to do anything about his adversary Vatanen's advantage over him. Ricola, also suffering from flu, is eighth. Eklund is ninth in the Duckham's Toyota. Ragnotti has dropped to 10th. Out of the top 10, but still fighting after a day and a half on the road, Teddy Caby's Toyota is ahead of that old master of the British forests, twice former winner, Roger Clark. Although Mikkela leads into Chester for the night halt, it's teammate Michel Mouton who's the star of the show.
Michel, what sort of day have you had? How's your curl? Extremely well.
It's sometimes okay, sometimes it's very good. But it's not very important.
You're obviously doing very well, Michel. You're now in third place.
Yes, I
am very
happy.
pleased with your position.
I'm very happy, yes.
Now with a fantastic lead of 11 minutes, Mikkela sets off on the second leg of the rally, starting with spectator stages at Alton Park Race Circuit, Weston Park and Burr Wharton. Barring disaster to the Quattro, there's nothing that second-place Vatanen can do about the lead. But with the French girl only just over a minute behind him, he can't afford to slacken his pace. To prove the point, Michel is faster even than Mikkela here at Burr Wharton. It's an inspired performance. Blomqvist has his reputation at stake, with a woman driver beating him on a rally, which for him has been relatively untroubled. McRae's trouble-free run is about to end. His Opel breaks under the strain in the early hours of Tuesday morning in the forests of South Wales, while being top Brit in fifth place. With the enthusiastic backing of the British dealer Opel team, it's a bitter pill for McRae at the end of a year when the car has proved ultra-reliable. With his flu almost gone, Ricola is feeling better and really flying, soon to inherit McRae's fifth place. Moving up again is Ragnotti, though the Renault is already on its third gearbox. The team are making no secret of the fact that they are delighted with the car's performance on this tough rally. Three Colt Turbos started the event. Now only Koulang is left, but he's in 9th place. For Frekkelin, time is running out in his championship chase. The Frenchman must beat Vatanen, but the task now looks impossible. In the Manufacturers' Championship, Talbot are heading for victory, as it's been a disastrous rally for Datsun, with both works drivers out of the event. The top Datsun is now Soren Nilsson's private entry, heading for a good top 10 place, but it's not enough to win the championship. Now elevated to top British driver, Teddy Caby, on only his first international drive with the Toyota team. Willie Rutherford's sick escort moves over for Peter Geitel's Datsun as the cars move into the final night of the event through the daunting forests of Wales. Wednesday morning in Llandudno, after a cold and snowy night in Wales. Vatanen's kept his second place without too much drama, but others have not been so lucky, and the icy conditions have taken their toll. Michel Mouton's fine drive ended down an embankment in Radnor Forest, and Frekelin has rolled his Talbot out of the rally. Mikkola still leads.
Snow on the last stage is incredible.
Come on, Harry, let's go.
I was wondering about it actually for Clocaino, but I think it's much lower. Clocaino will be Penmatino maybe at the top.
What have the stages been like, Harry?
Nasty, hairy. I mean, very slippery and muddy and not so enjoyable. And but I'm happy that they are now over.
You've tired on this rally. Has it been a tiring rally?
It has been, yes. Weather has been changing all the time and very slippery roads. And now we have been driving a little bit slow, and I feel that you have to concentrate more when you are not driving really flat out.
The road round the Great Orme headland is the first stage on the final run back to Chester. Mikkola, with a 10-minute lead, isn't taking any chances. Vatanen's now a clear second and has only to finish in the top 5 to take the World Championship. Ricola in the second Rothmans Escort is breaking his run of bad luck on this rally and looks set for his first ever top 10 finish. Ragnotti is still a splendid 5th. Eklund gives the Toyota team great encouragement for the future with a determined drive. He's now 6th. While teammate KB confirms that the car has great potential. Through the final forest stages of Clocaenog, Mikkola has his 3rd Lombard RAC rally win firmly in his sights. Vatanen proves the old-style Escort is still a competitive world rallying car. And Blomqvist confirms Talbot as winners of the World Championship for manufacturers. Ricola, co-driven by Phil Short, holds his 4th place to the end. While Ragnotti and Renault celebrate 5th. Eklund and Toyota 6th. Followed by teammate Teddy KB, proving that he was worthy of the team drive. Koolang demonstrates that the Colt Lancer will be a competitive force in the future, and Roger Clark underlines the fact that he still can be competitive on the international scene. As Ari Vatanen completes the final stage, he realizes he's the new World Rally Champion.
I feel, very, very pleased, very satisfied, happy, and I mean, of course, it has been a really long year with a lot of hard work involved, and not just from my side, but from the whole team, and we have had our ups and downs, and it hasn't always looked so, so optimistic, and but now I'm, obviously I feel, from my point of view, I feel very happy, and so I feel for the whole team, their efforts, haven't gone down to drainage.
It's the Audi Quattro year. Hannu Mikkola's win with the revolutionary Audi Quattro heralds the arrival of a new era in rallying. The age of the supercar has arrived. 4-wheel drive and turbocharging are the keys to success, and all future serious contenders must heed the warning.
Clambering onto the roof.
Audi have led the way, and Hannu Mikkola and Arne Hertz bask in the glory of their success.
That impact bends the steering arm of world champion Ari Vatanen's Shell Escort, but he quickly recovers and still makes 6th fastest time on the special stage. An even more dramatic start for Hannu Mikkola in the Audi Quattro, the favourite for victory on the rally. Braking for the first bend, the turbocharged car is crippled by steering failure, a repeat of the disaster which eliminated them from the World Championship Acropolis rally a week earlier. As marshals help Mikkola to steer off the road onto the grass verge, co-driver Arnie Hertz gets out to inspect the damage. The marshals warn that the next car is approaching, which means the Audi has already lost 1 minute. And that car is Jimmy McRae's Opel Ascona 400, on his way to making fastest time on the stage. As Hertz looks for the fault, Mikkola, aware that for him victory is ticking away, inspects the damage for himself.
Det är bra, stopp, inte så mycket, kom tillbaka sakta. Tillbaka sakta, mer, lite till. Där, stopp där. Ta till vänster en aning.
Another minute has passed, and Stig Blomqvist's Talbot Sunbeam Lotus arrives on the scene to be slowed by the marshals. After 8.5 agonizing minutes, he makes it to the service area, a very relieved man.
Well, I'm still in the rally in every case, you know, so this was really ridiculous.
That's exactly what happened on the Acropolis in It seemed to have the same effect.
Yeah, Acropolis I did the first stage without problem. Now it was on before the first bend already, so we have to have a careful look what happened. It was just a loose connection.
You're still in the rally this time?
Yes, I'm still in the rally, and it's okay, 6.5 minutes is very long time. But it's 1 second per kilometer. I have to be faster than others.
Vatanen is also trying and flies into the lead. McRae is second. Stig Blomqvist, making only his second appearance this season for the Talbot team, is also flying in third place and challenging McRae for second. McRae's teammate Henry Toivonen in the second Rothmans Opel is fourth. Russell Brooks heads the Vauxhall Challenge with his Chevette in fifth place. And he's chased by Cumbria's Malcolm Wilson on his first drive in this country since last year. The second Vauxhall Chevette is being driven by Terry Cabey, who makes a good start, but the Scottish forests are treacherous and slippery after heavy rainstorms. The engine has stalled. Will it restart? Luckily it does, but the time loss drops Cabey to 8th. Someone else in trouble at the same spot is John Weatherly, giving the Citroën Visa an otherwise impressive championship debut. Per Eklund's Duckham's Toyota Celica is going well and disputing 5th place. Hannu Mikkola is carving his way back up the field in sensational style after that first stage disaster. But the spectacle of the rally is Vatanen.
I just left my brake a little bit too late, and I had some previous corners I had brake too early, and now I left it a little bit too late, and you'll see the results.
Despite his exuberance, the world champion still leads. McRae is next to arrive, and he too is caught out by this deceptive bend. Despite losing valuable time, he still holds third place and acknowledges his mistake with a wave. Stig Blomqvist scrabbles round in second place, while Henry Toivonen spots the telltale skid marks and corners safely. On the run into Aviemore, Vatanen's advantage has been cut to only a few seconds. A very much in-form Blomqvist heads the chase. He's followed by Scotsman McRae, determined to win his home event. Toivonen is fourth and having to give best to his Rothmans teammate. Russell Brooks always goes well in Scotland. He won the event in 1976, and his determined driving in the Vauxhall Chevette is keeping him well up with the leaders, and he approaches Aviemore in 5th place. Malcolm Wilson has dropped back following a fire in his car's electrical system, and while he's unable to do anything about the flying Mikkola, who has already passed him to snatch 6th place, he's still ahead of Per Eklund's Toyota. The new Celica going very well as the cars arrive at Aviemore.
We had no problems throughout the night. We were leading by nearly a minute this morning. And of course the fact that Hannu was further down the field, you know, it was much easier for us then. Then we had the half shaft going and lost a minute, and now we are only leading by 20 seconds. And again today we had no other problems.
Who's chasing you now then, Harry?
Stig Blomqvist is chasing very well indeed. He's done very well. He's the most serious one.
Do you know how far behind Vatanen you are?
Yeah, I think it's about 40 seconds now again.
Well, why has it dropped back? Why have you dropped back a little?
Yeah, the last stage here, it's only the first car who can go through there, and then the road is so rough.
On Monday morning, Vatanen leads the field through the northern forests, hotly pursued by Blomqvist. McRae is catching Blomqvist. Toivonen is still 4th. Brooks is delayed when the Chevette's front suspension hits a rock, and he's about to become the next victim of the Audi Quattro, driven by an aggressive Mikkola. Wilson holds 7th place as he tries to catch Brooks, but he is also under pressure from KB. Ken Wood loses a few seconds in his Triumph TR7 V8. Vatanen's lead has been reduced to just 3 seconds after a spin, but in Monoti Forest, his fantastic drive is about to end.
Prop shaft broke, or coupling of a prop shaft broke, and we have no drive. That's the end of the rally.
What actually happened? You were sort of bombing down that straight and just...
No, well, just suddenly the back end of the car, you know, lifting up because the front of the prop shaft was touching the ground, so that was lifting the back end of the car up, and so I knew it, that's it.
So as the world champion takes a plane home to see his newly born daughter, Stig Blomqvist inherits the lead of the Arnold Clark Scottish Rally. But it's a very short-lived lead because disaster is about to strike the Talbot Sunbeam when its engine loses oil pressure and he too is forced to retire. And that means Mikkola is up to a sensational 2nd place. Suicidal spectators give him a test of nerves, but he storms past countryman Toivonen over the long Kulbin Straits. Now he is only 1 minute behind the new leader, Jimmy McRae. After a fantastic final night through the rough, dusty forests high above Loch Ness, the Scotsman fights for his honour. But Mikkola's superior power and traction with a turbocharged 4-wheel drive Audi is too much, and he takes the lead. Toivonen's content with 3rd place, still trying to keep up with the leaders, but at times trying a little too hard. With only 2 stages to go, the epic battle is over.
Jim, you must feel very disappointed.
Yes, quite a bit disappointed. You know, it's really, you know, it's like batting your head against a brick wall trying to beat the 4-wheel drive Quattro. We tried and, you know, we failed, so we'll settle for 2nd now.
Although McRae has settled for 2nd, Mikkola cannot afford to let up over the final special stages to the north of Glasgow. The sad Scot with regular co-driver Ian Grindrod is yet again 2nd on his home rally. Henry Toivonen and Fred Gallagher finished 3rd. Russell Brooks finishes 4th in the Vauxhall Chevette. Malcolm Wilson in 5th place makes a successful return to British rallying just 1 month before his marriage. Terry Cabey, the other young British hopeful, is 6th in the 2nd Vauxhall Chevette. While Per Eklund gives the new Toyota Celica its first rally result in 7th place. But the heroes are Hannu Mikkola and Arnie Hertz. From last place, they charge back to return to Glasgow as winners. It's the 4th time they've won the Scottish, but this time they did it the hard way. Douglas Promenade, the setting for the Rothmans Manx International Rally starts. Hannu Mikkola and Arnie Hertz watch the high-flying entertainment.
It's a 3-day event this year. I think it's going to be tougher than previous years. So we hope the reliability of the Opel will pull us through.
Tougher on the car or on the driver, you know?
I think not so much in the driver this time because there's no night stages, but the car, because there's 360 or 80 miles of special stages which are very rough and bumpy and very fast, so the car's going to stand a bit of pressure.
This is such a small island and stages are repeated so many times, so we actually memorize the stages. So, but of course we have a patience as well.
What are the roads like?
They are generally very fast, and having a tarmac surface on them, I mean, makes it even faster. So it's going to be a bit of like a circuit racing, really.
World champion Ari Vatanen leads the cars from the start ramp early on Thursday morning. Hannu Mikkola is next with a fabulous four-wheel drive Audi Quattro. But it's car number 3 which is the crowd's favourite. Jimmy McRae has to win this rally to retain his crown. But against world-class opposition, it won't be easy. From the start, Vatanen is flying and takes an immediate lead. In contrast, Mikkola is surprisingly off the pace. McRae's deceptively smooth style has marked him as one of the great drivers in this country. Frenchman Guy Fréquelin making a rare UK appearance driving for the Talbot team. Young Finnish star Henri Toivonen in the second Rothmans Opel Ascona soon takes the lead from Vatanen. The second Sunbeam Lotus is driven by Stig Blomqvist, but soon the high-speed challenge beats the Talbots. As Blomqvist coasts to a halt with a damaged engine, teammate Fréquelin has already stopped with the same problem less than half a mile up the road. For the Swedish hero, the race is run, so there's nothing left to do but take a holiday. Joined only a few minutes later by his countryman Per Eklund, whose Duckham's Toyota Celica also retires during the morning. Terry Cabey leads the home challenge in second place with the Vauxhall Chevette, and in his effort to stay in touch with the Finns, he is putting down more rubber on the road than Vatanen. Vauxhall teammate Russell Brooks won this rally in 1979. Giving the huge Irish contingent something to shout about is Ulster Rally winner Bertie Fisher. In contrast, Mikkola is having a dreadful outing in the Quattro with engine and transmission problems. At the service halt behind the famous TT grandstand, he waits as the mechanics replace the gearbox and differential unit in only 34 minutes. But the delay has allowed others to move ahead.
I don't think we ever imagined we'd have this lead at this stage. If we keep going at this rate, it should be about a minute tonight with any luck if things don't go too badly, and then we can start thinking tactics tomorrow. But today's been the flat-out day for everybody.
It's still flat out as the cars start the first stage on Friday, with Toivonen eager to extend his 15-second advantage over the rest of the drivers in his chase for the Open Championship. Vatanen is now second, and although the Escort design may be 15 years old, it's not showing its age. McRae is matching the Finns, and he is only 15 seconds behind the world champion. Terry Cabey is in attacking mood, although an engine problem slows his Chevette. That means Russell Brooks moves up to 4th position with his Vauxhall, desperate to give the manufacturer another win with the sleek racer which won here last year, driven by Tony Pond. Bertie Fisher is a spectacular 6th, bouncing through the twisting, narrow roads. The Ulster Rally winner is in fabulous form as Malcolm Patrick chases with his Opel. Mikkola is still fighting, but the engine problem is worse, and his title hopes are blown as the race goes on up front with a new leader, Ari Vatanen.
Well, you can always see a flat out, but I don't know. It depends if Henry wants to have a push or whether he settles in the 3rd place. But I mean, we are in the beginning of 2nd day now, so we have more than, well, 3/4 of the rally left.
Vatanen seizes the chance to increase his lead, and McRae can hardly play it cool to keep up. with Toivonen still just behind despite that puncture. Brooks cannot stay in touch with this fascinating three-way battle, but the Chevette is still fourth. But it's a sad end for his teammate Terry Cabey, who retires with an engine problem. And that promotes Bertie Fisher to fifth. As the leaders head north for the Ramsey rest halt, Vartanen's sensational drive comes to a dramatic end. The world champion is out of the rally.
Yeah, we just landed very heavily and just bounced off the road. As simple as that.
I think crashes are one of the facts of life of rallying, you know, particularly on an event like this, which is so incredibly fast. And where you're using the stages so many times, you're going to be squeezing the very last inch out of the road, and I think it's inevitable. There are going to be some quite high-speed accidents, particularly on the 5th and 6th times to the same stages.
The stage is cancelled, and Jimmy McRae and the Opel Ascona are suddenly on target for victory and another year as Open champions. But Rothman's teammate Henry Toivonen is closing rapidly as the sister car is pushed faster and faster, breaking all records on the island. It's going to be a two-horse race to the finish because Brooks, in third place, is unable to stay with the leaders. Fisher is a long way behind the Vauxhall, but after fending off a strong challenge from Patrick's Opel, he is now safely in fourth. As the rest of the cars set faster and faster times, Mikkela's retirement is nigh in the car which earlier in the season dominated the championship. Friday afternoon, and Toivonen has snatched the lead. McRae is back to second. And Brooks hangs on in third. Go! By Saturday morning, there are only 5 hours left. Through the mist, the first Opel appears. But it's McRae's car, and the rally has another new leader as Toivonen has stopped with electrical problems and then crashed out of the event. Lights ablaze, the British team heads for home. Brooks in the Vauxhall Chevette has settled for second place. It's his best position of the year, and he's taking no chances. Bertie Fisher is now third. His team have already changed 2 back axles on the event, but it doesn't seem to upset him, and the fans love it. Malcolm Patrick is promoted to 4th place in his Opel Ascona 400. The closing stage is on Saturday afternoon, and the crowds are willing the champion home to Douglas. Russell Brooks still holds second. The final special stage, and McRae plays it safe. There are only 5 miles to go, and there's a 2-minute gap to Russell Brooks, delighted with his second place. Bertie Fisher finishes third and is the top private driver. With Malcolm Patrick in 4th place, although it's still a personal best for the Midlands dentist. Victory on the Isle of Man has given Jimmy McRae and Ian Grindrod the 1982 Rothmans RAC Open Rally Championship. It's been hard-earned against the best drivers in the world, and the crowd know it. Opel have won the Manufacturers' Championship, and champagne is the order of the day. Both McRae and Grindrod celebrate, and Jimmy's wife Margaret at last allows herself a quiet smile.
I think to retain the championship, you know, it's really fantastic. We thought with the accident to Welsh, that was it, but we made it.
From York Racecourse is last year's winner, Pentia Ricola. The Finn is out of work this year, but he's hired a Ford Escort to prove to himself and the assembled team managers that he's worthy of a factory drive. In the forest for the first time, he's soon pushing the car to its limits and occasionally beyond. Vatanen is also a past winner of the Mintex, driving another outdated Escort. The rally opens at a furious pace, and even world champions make mistakes. The British fans saw the Audi Quattro for the first time last November. The car's back again for a full season of British rallying with Hannu Mikkola in control. Finland's young superstar, Henri Toivonen, is on his first outing with the Rothmans Opel Ascona 400, partnered by Irish co-driver Fred Gallagher. Teammate Jimmy McRae, in his second season with Opel, is in the bottom half of the top 10 and quickly aware of the tough competition he faces this year. A storming start by Ducham's Toyota driver Per Eklund puts him in the top 3, but the Celica soon retires with electrical problems. Anxious moments for team manager David Sutton, who awaits the arrival of his brand new Audi. The four-wheel drive machine arrives in relaxed style, and after only 5 stages, the Pirelli-shod Quattro has taken an immediate lead. Mikkola's over half a minute ahead of his nearest rival. The others are struggling to keep up, and already some are in trouble.
Tried to pick away in second in that last stage, and the clutch just slipped. It wouldn't grip at all. I had to stop back into first, then go. The clutch seems to be slipping.
Well, you know, bloody Toivonen missed one corner and spun. Now it was very sleepy place, and I don't know what I did wrong, but something anyway. So we lost some time. Not very much, but I'm learning. Hey, clean. No, it's okay. Thanks. So how much we are behind everybody?
5 behind Jimmy, 15 miles to the next stage.
The pattern is set for the rally, and by dawn, Mikkola is still up front after a trouble-free night, during which he's extended his lead in the fiery turbocharged Quattro. Life might be relatively easy for the Quattro driver, but behind him the world champion, Ari Vatanen, is under pressure. He took second place early in the rally, but in daylight, Pentti Arikkala is closing the gap. Arikkala's spectacular style is thrilling the fans and proving more than effective in the chase for second place. True to his word, Henri Toivonen is learning fast. He's now only 30 seconds behind his more experienced countryman and narrowing the margin in dramatic style. Few people expected to see Terry Cabey leading the British challenge, but the former national champion is doing just that in his Vauxhall Chevette. The reigning Open champion, Jimmy McRae, has made a poor start in his bid to retain the title. The Rothmans Opel is still sadly off the pace. Mid-morning Saturday, and Hannu Mikkola and Arne Hertz look like they're going for the shopping. The experienced Finn has never pushed the car to its limits because, while the opposition scrabble for grip on the muddy surfaces, the four-wheel drive Quattro appears to be running on rails. Double winner of the Mintex, Pentti Arikkala, is still hounding Vatanen. Seconds are vital as the rented Escort is thrown through the forests. This is fast becoming the drive of the rally. Fighting back is the other half of this tremendous Escort battle for second. Ari Vatanen is in determined mood, but the margin is still closing. And aiming to make it a three-cornered fight for second is Henri Toivonen, the youngest man ever to win the RAC rally. After a couple of years in the Talbot team, he's adapted to the big Opel with ease. Behind the battling Finns, there's a home-based contest. Still in charge is Terry Cabey, and after years of driving everything from Minis to 3.5-litre Triumph TR7s, it's the Chevette which has brought him to the limelight. Moving up the leaderboard for the first time is Russell Brooks in another Vauxhall Chevette. It's his international debut with the car, and he's now challenging Cabey in 6th place. Jimmy McRae's troubled run continues because after moving ahead of the two Chevettes early on Saturday morning, a time-consuming puncture puts him back to the bottom half of the top 10, behind his two British rivals. Dolby Forest, the Audi still leads. Auricula's made it. He's second at last. Sadly, though, his joy is short-lived and suspension failure soon ends an inspired drive. For a moment, the pressure's off Vatanen. He's back to second again, although there's absolutely no time to relax as his car loses power briefly in Dolby Forest. His respite is short-lived as Toivonen attacks, closing the gap to just 3 seconds when the cars complete the final Forest special stages. Fortunes have also changed for the second Opel driver, Jimmy McRae, who's clambered his way up to fourth at the expense of the Vauxhall duo. Heading for the final two tarmac stages, he's 9 seconds ahead of KB in the Chevette. Brooks is dropping back, slowed by an engine problem, but showing no lack of determination. Mikkela's Quattro arrives in Scarborough for maintenance before the final test. The supercar has run perfectly, and all it needs is a set of slick racing tyres for the Oliver's Mount motorcycle race circuit.
No, those are not slicks, though. No, they haven't got slicks.
Nobody has.
Go on, get it right, Tom.
That's it.
Nobody has.
That's the end of our second place then.
Get it on.
Vatanen is right. Second place is snatched by Toivonen, whose driving style is spectacular to the very end. Although Mikkela is out of reach and the Audi has been proved master of all conditions, the four-wheel drive Quattro is all-conquering with a 3-minute lead over the battle behind. A disappointed Vatanen struggles round with the wrong tyres and has to settle for third. That's Toivonen, ahead now on his second lap. Terry Cabey completes a fine drive to fifth, heading the Vauxhall Challenge on his first attempt. Sixth is Russell Brooks, delayed further with that sick engine and about to be lapped by the current Open champion, Jimmy McRae. The Scotsman has made up for his bad start to finish fourth and open his championship account. Hannu Mikkela wins the Mintex Rally and collects maximum points at the start of his championship campaign.
Same car as we use in the circuit. We've done a bit of testing yesterday just to try and get a compromise between Forest specification and tarmac, and the car feels good, so we hope we can get the same reliability as we did in the circuit.
Double winner Ari Vatanen is flagged away from the start in Wolf Wells on Friday night, watched by hundreds of rally fans. Can he make it a hat-trick? His young countryman, Henry Toivonen, is second away in the Opel Ascona 400. But it's his Rothmans teammate, Jimmy McRae, who is expected to set the pace over the tarmac roads of the Epent military ranges, which make up half of the action in this year's rally. Sweden's Stig Blomqvist is at the wheel of the World Championship-winning Talbot team car.
And luckily I'm still the right side.
Next away is the Audi Quattro, being driven for the first time by Sweden's former world champion Bjorn Valdegard, deputising for Hannu Mikkela, who's away chasing World Championship points in Corsica. Unhappily, Pentti Auricula's favourite rally is not to last for long, nor is that of Duckham's Toyota driver Per Eklund. Both Scandinavians are destined to retire before dawn. After a night of hard driving through dry, dusty forests, which caused problems for the competitors, Bjorn Valdegaard, despite being a newcomer to the event, has wasted no time in proving the dominance of the four-wheel drive Quattro and its versatility over all surfaces, including tarmac. It even flies well. Henry Toivonen locks the wheels of his Ascona in a desperate bid to stay in touch with the Quattro. During the night, he dropped time with a puncture, but now he's back to second place and within striking distance of the leader. The hand injury suffered when he crashed in Ireland on the previous round of the championship has now mended and he's fighting fit. Fresh from his win on the Circuit of Ireland, Jimmy McRae is in third place. The current Open champion has a slim lead in this year's series, and that's now threatened by his teammate Toivonen. It's been a difficult night for world champion Ari Vatanen in fourth place. During the night, the escort's crew took a wrong turning on one of Eppin's military roads and could face possible exclusion. However, they're on the right road now and desperate to catch the Opel twins ahead of them. Stig Blomqvist in the Talbot Sunbeam is holding fifth place. However, he hasn't got the pace of the leading runners, and snapping at his heels are some of the best club drivers in Britain. Leading that attack is Phil Collins in a brave effort which challenges the professionals. Francis Tuthill is just a few seconds behind in his Ford Escort. Although he's being caught by McRae on his second lap of this spectator stage. From the fast tarmac, the action moves back into the forests of mid-Wales. Still, Valdegaard powers the turbocharged Quattro through the dusty gravel stages to maintain his lead, gaining confidence of the car and kicking up the dust. Toivonen is still attacking. The Opel Ascona driver was married just before he came to Wales, and to win here would be a fitting way to celebrate. But what a way to spend a honeymoon. McRae still holds third, chasing his teammate, although co-driver Ian Grindrod isn't enjoying himself at all and has been feeling ill since the rally started over 12 hours ago. And Vatanen still chasing McRae. His mechanics have changed the Escort suspension, making the world champion much happier. But it's an uphill task in his obsolete car, and all the time he has that threat of exclusion hanging over him. Blomqvist has also had his suspension changed between the tarmac and forest stages, but such is the pace of the leaders, the experienced Swede just can't keep up. Tuthill's put his car at the top of the clubman's battle, aiming to repeat the fine performance which saw him take a top position in last November's Lombard REC rally. Collins has dropped back behind Tuthill with a succession of punctures. He actually borrowed a tyre from fellow Welshman Jeff Churchill in car number 14. And now these two men are battling for 7th place. Back to Eppins, and Valdegaard's lead is cut dramatically. The Quattro has damaged a steering link on a jump and needs emergency repairs. Toivonen sees his chance and is just 20 seconds behind the Swede, braking late and throwing the Ascona around the hairpin in flamboyant fashion. But it's McRae who's fastest. The Scotsman is in a finished sandwich, desperate to catch Toivonen and under pressure from Vatanen. Vatanen hasn't given up either. He's trying for a hat-trick on the rally, but he still finds time for a wave. Blomqvist continues to lose time to the furious four-way battle ahead of him, but stays 5th ahead of the clubman. Collins is making a dramatic bid to catch Tuthill. Flat out in fifth gear, Toivonen continues his pursuit of the Audi. But McRae's rally comes to an unscheduled and dramatic end. An uncharacteristic mistake has put the Scot off the road, although the strength of the Opel roll bars saved the crew from injury. Tuthill has finally lost out to Collins, although the clubman's fight continues as the cars tackle the epic roads for the last time. McRae's stricken car serves as a reminder of the cost of a single mistake on the fast tarmac road. News that the French Works Renault team have just won the World Championship Rally in Corsica encourages John Price in his private Renault 5 Turbo as he aims for a top placing. The last chance for the mechanics to check the cars before the final forest stages, and Voldegaard is back in control. He has broken Toivonen's bid after dominating the day's rallying with fastest times. The Swede just doesn't give up. Di Quattro through the last stage as though every second counted, even with a 2-minute lead. Henry Toivonen brings his Opel Ascona into a splendid second place after a mature drive, which takes him into the lead of the Rothmans RAC Open Rally Championship. A satisfied Talbot team take third after a steady performance from Stig Blomqvist. Like his Swedish compatriot Voldegaard, Stig is one of the most experienced professional rally drivers in the world. Putting his name in the record books is Phil Collins, who has surprised everyone, except himself, with a fine fourth place. Francis Tuthill brings the Escort, hired from Jeff Churchill, home safely in fifth place, ahead of Churchill himself in sixth. Another hired Escort, driven by the flamboyant Swede Bror Danielsson, is 11th. Ari Vatanen finishes the rally in third place, but is excluded from the final results for his mistake nearly 24 hours earlier. A great disappointment for the world champion after a magnificent drive in the Shell Escort. As the last rays of sun fade, the weary teams return to Llandrindod Wells for the finish. Although the rally only lasted for 24 hours, it turned out to be a grueling test of stamina for both man and machine. For Bjorn Voldegaard, co-driven by Yorkshireman Phil Short, it's a double first. First time out in the Welsh Rally and first time in a Quattro. A win which puts Audi back into the lead in the Manufacturers' Championship and raises the tension with only 2 rounds remaining.
But I think blind rallying in Ireland is a thing of the past, really. And I think this is the only thing the organisers can do now to make it reasonably fair and to get cross-channel competition.
You've been here for the last 3 days, having a look round.
Yes.
What do you think of the roads?
Similar to Isle of Man. Maybe more bumpy and faster some state.
Are the bumps going to suit the Toyota?
I don't know. Let's see now. We have set up a little bit harder now than before. Maybe it's okay, but we don't know yet. This is the problem. We practice in normal speed, in the standard car and standard speeding. And now we're coming maybe 100 miles faster. That is the problem.
Belfast City Hall is the venue for the start. First away is Sweden's Per Eklund in his Toyota Celica. At number 2, it's John Coyne, Irish Tarmac Championship leader, while the third car away is the British National Championship leader, Malcolm Patrick. The remote country lanes used for this event are usually narrow, often bumpy, and very, very fast. Per Eklund, who has competed here before, knows exactly what to expect. Dubliner John Coyne has been enjoying a good season with his Talbot Sunbeam Lotus, and after going off the road for a short time at the start of this high-pressure 21.5-hour event, he's surging back strongly in pursuit of the leaders. Malcolm Patrick in his Opel Ascona 400, already experiencing trouble with his intercom, is holding third place. While Ger Buckley, driving a similar car, is somewhat inexperienced in the use of pace notes, and in consequence is well down the field. Initially excluded from the rally, John Lyons has been allowed to start pending an appeal, but he's off the pace and decides to retire after only 2 stages. Another early retirement is Cyril Bolton's X-Works Triumph TR7. While Ireland's most spectacular rally driver of the moment, Austin McHale, has put his Vauxhall Chevette into a splendid second place. And he's really making his mark. And he's not the only one, for even outside the top 10, the battle for positions on these typically narrow and bumpy Irish roads is hotting up. As dusk settles over the Mourne Mountains, it's Bertie Fisher and his Ford Escort who has established an impressive lead. Chased hard by Austin McHale's Chevette. John Coyne has now fought his way up to third. And Eklund's Toyota holds fourth place. Ger Buckley searches for grip and traction. And John Morton entertains the crowds. Dawn outside Omagh. In the bright morning sunshine, Bertie Fisher still leads, but only by a scant few seconds after a major suspension failure during the night almost dropped him into the hands of his pursuers. After replacing a front strut at Enniskillen, he's once more setting a cracking pace and again pulling away from the rest of the field with some fine driving. John Coyne's splendid bid for the lead is destined for disaster. Trying just a fraction too hard, he's about to get the Sunbeam out of phase on some tricky sweeps and dips and rolls his car spectacularly out of the rally. With experienced co-driver Terry Harriman reading the pace notes, Ian Cathcart's Opel Ascona 400 is now in second place, albeit almost 2 minutes down on Fisher. And Eklund, despite losing second place as a result of a heavy landing, which forced a sump guard bolt through the sump itself, is now third overall, and the impressive Toyota is once more beginning to pressure the Opel. Dubliner Brendan Fagan's battered Chevette soldiers on in fifth place after a night spent coping with persistent electrical trouble, clutch maladies, and a number of close encounters with Irish hedgerows. Malcolm Patrick, now fourth, is losing power from a broken exhaust manifold despite repeated welding attempts at every service halt. And Austin McHale, who overnight had to stop to change a puncture and then suffered the indignity of losing the newly replaced wheel and tyre as they parted company from the car, is battling on gamely, though temporarily relegated to running among the lower half of the top 10. But the sun is out and it's a lovely day for rallying. As the rally heads north for its final high-speed phase over the Antrim Plateau, Bertie Fisher, who ran out of practice time up here, is firmly in control. The red Escort still immaculate.
Our Eklund took 20 seconds off us on the last stage, which we thought was about right for driving it blind, you know. But we still have 2 minutes and 5 seconds lead, so, you know, we're still happy enough with 7 miles, 8 miles of stages to do. I think we can probably soldier through if we don't have any problems.
Get it to the end all right. Yeah. But that's very interesting, isn't it? I mean, it shows the difference between pace notes and no pace, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I think we showed the difference last night as well with maybe having spent more time on the night sections and concentrating on those. We seem to make a bit of time.
Reveling in the final high-speed miles of this superbly organised event, Bertie Fisher's Escort reels off the remaining distance. Per Eklund, through to second place, is now poised to compete a satisfactory outing in the Toyota Celica. And Ian Cathcart in his PR Riley-sponsored Opel is in the unusual position for an Irishman of having to acclimatise himself to tarmac driving, but he seems safe in third place. Malcolm Patrick's broken exhaust manifold and attendant fuel vaporization problems with the Opel Ascona leave him fourth. While Brendan Fagan's trail of disasters, which now include an inoperative starter motor and continuing electrical trouble, have nevertheless failed to stop his Vauxhall Chevette. Spectacular to the end, the hard-charging Austin McHale has worked his way back to sixth place after some inspired driving in his Chevette. And so, Bertie Fisher moves remorselessly on towards his first international rally victory. Per Eklund's oil leak has been plugged by a rag and a lengthy service halt. And Ian Cathcart seems to have got his racing lines perfectly sorted out now. Malcolm Patrick concentrates on nursing his sick engine towards the finish. While two Vauxhalls follow two Opels home. The irrepressible Austin McHale in sixth place. For Bertie Fisher, who has long felt that Irish rallying needed legal pace notes to broaden its appeal and cut down local advantages, this is a fine reward for a perfect drive. And the Lord Mayor seems happy to share in his success. World champion Ari Vatanen poses the strongest foreign threat in his escort. Hannu Mikkela's Audi Quattro won the first round of the championship, but the powerful turbocharged car is proving a bit of a handful on the slippery tarmac roads. And it's McRae's teammate, Henry Toivonen, who is the most spectacular around the Ormeau Park stage in the centre of Belfast. His Opel is quickly into the swing, and already he's a favourite with the huge crowds who've turned out despite the poor weather. Sweden's Per Eklund gives the spectators ample time to see the world debut of the sleek new Toyota Celica. But the brand new car is obviously having teething troubles as the driver fights for power and then goes the wrong way around the tree. Fortunes for the Duckham's car a little better on the closed public roads, and it is destined for an unhappy debut. Russell Brooks always goes well in Ireland, and his Vauxhall Chevette teammate Terry Cabey chases him through the special stages around Armagh at incredible speeds over the soaking roads. But Brooks makes a mistake in the rain. The front corner of the Chevette has been ripped away, although the car is still going very quickly. As he arrives at the next service point, it's obvious that he's had a lucky escape.
You do like looking at the nasty bits, don't you?
What happened, in fact?
We're just going a little too quick and stayed wide on a corner and clipped a bank. Nothing desperate. Mechanically, the car's perfect, so...
Because you were going very well up to then?
Oh, yes, still are going well.
Well, has it dropped you down a bit, Russell?
Yes, well, we'll have to go a bit quicker now, aren't we?
But McRae's Opel is going the quickest and holds a slender lead as the conditions improve. As the rally heads back towards Belfast at the end of the first loop, Ari Vatanen is playing a waiting game behind the Opels of McRae and Toivonen. The Quattro is slowed by a broken drive shaft, but Cabey is piling on the pressure in sensational style, chasing Vatanen. Eklund's rally is just about over. Distributor failure has damaged the engine, and the new Celica is on its last breath before retirement. A sad debut. But there's nothing wrong with Toivonen, and the battle for the lead is between the two Opals.
Everything is going too well, I suppose.
Oh dear.
I thought that we're going 85% speed. I think Jimmy and the others are going 75 because we are catching.
You're catching Jimmy, are you?
Yeah.
How far behind him are you now, then?
Just after that stage, we're 2 seconds in the lead now from Jimmy, and another 33 in front of Ari. But we've been trying to go a little bit slower just the last couple of stages because we don't especially want to go out in the morning as first car, because the first car on the road finds the bad places, leaves the black marks and so on, which give you a little bit of a warning.
In fact, McRae retakes the lead, and the cars head south on Saturday morning after an 8-hour rest halt in Belfast. Toivonen is only seconds behind, and the two Opals are pulling well clear of the field. Kieran River just across the border, and McRae negotiates the tight hairpins with inch-perfect precision. But that's Vatanen in second place. Toivonen is missing, and the escort driver is less than 30 seconds behind McRae. Kevy is next through in third place, driving superbly. While the similar Vauxhall Chevette of Dubliner Austin McHale is quickly moving up the leaderboard in dramatic fashion. And here is Toivonen, with the front of the Ascona badly damaged after a high-speed collision with a grass bank. The young Finn injured his hand badly when the steering wheel whipped round in the accident, and he is rushed to hospital while his car is repaired, returning with seconds to spare.
In the envelope. All right. Any instructions? Every 4 hours. We must get an X-ray tonight.
And he's had one now?
Had 2.
But it's 1 every 4 hours now, yeah?
Yeah.
Andy, is it 1 every 4 hours?
1 every 4, or whenever it can last it.
How are you feeling, Henry?
Come on, then, let's go.
In considerable pain and with his hand heavily bandaged, he decides to carry on to the rest halt at Killarney. His mechanic straps him into the car, but he can only drive with one hand, and Killarney is still 6 hours away. McRae's lead is still slender, and his Opel is setting a frantic pace under intense pressure from the world-class drivers behind. Vatanen is using all his skill and bravery to keep in touch with the leader. McHale remains the most spectacular Irishman in the rally, and although his Chevette is still lying behind Terry Cavy's similar car, the Englishman's splendid performance is nearly over.
Terry, what happened?
I was just trying to cut a corner up a little bit too tight and clip the wall on the inside, and it just lifted the car and put it in the edge, and it rolled backwards into the road. Bent the suspension quite bad, and I don't think there's much chance of actually getting it mobile again.
As the locals relax, Churchtown High Street sees its fastest action of the year. McRae blasts the Opel through the village on his way to Killarney. Vatanen chases. The gap is still around 30 seconds. John Coyne is now the leading Irishman in 5th place, driving his Talbot Sunbeam Lotus. He's ahead of Michaelis Quattro, which is now suffering from a slipping clutch. Coca-Cola is poured onto the Quattro's clutch in an attempt to clear away the oil which is causing it to slip.
You understand, Al?
Still holding a good, 30 to 45 seconds in front of Ari. It's development to what it was 2 years ago, I think. Only I'm the mouse and he's the cat. He's chasing.
We always seem to go quite well, and then we have some setbacks, we have some bad times, and so that makes the battle with Jimmy, it doesn't level out really. I think he has the edge over us.
Sunday morning, very early, and the action continues around the Ring of Kerry, starting with a fabulous Moz gap stage. McRae's flying. The Opel leaps into the air at over 80 miles an hour, the driver fighting for every second. Vartanen's escort still chases all the way around the famous Sunday run, but over the narrow, bumpy roads, there's just nothing the world champion can do to catch McRae. Toivonen struggles on bravely in an amazing 3rd place despite his handicap. Brooks is closing on Toivonen and takes top Vauxhall spot as McHale's fine run hits mechanical problems. Although the most spectacular Chevette is that of Brendan Fagan. He doesn't reach the finish, though, and soon crashes his car out of the rally. Mikkola is still struggling on, and while the car is quick on the stages, the driver is fighting a losing battle. Oil is still leaking onto the clutch, keeping the mechanics busy and giving team manager David Sutton more headaches.
What's that powder you're putting in there just now?
Flour.
Is that the answer then, is it?
It's worked perfectly on the last 2 or 3 special stages. Seems to have dried the oil out of the clutch, and we're back.
Give you the idea of that?
We got it from an Irishman at the side of the road.
McRae's Opel roars away from the first special stage start on Monday afternoon on the long road north to Belfast. The Scotsman now faces his toughest challenge for the world champion in dry, dusty conditions and in front of a huge audience. Vatanen makes his move, and for a few miles it looks as if he could catch McRae. But his bid for victory is soon over. His car is damaged on a jump and drops to 7th place. Russell Brooks has overtaken Toivonen and is now promoted to 2nd place after Vatanen's mishap. So it looks as if British drivers are heading for a 1-2. Toivonen is still in considerable pain from his injured hand, but you'd never know it as he flings the big Ascona around with his customary flair. John Coyne completes his impressive run with the Talbot Sunbeam to finish 4th, ahead of several factory drivers, including Mikkola. Jimmy McRae pushes the Rothmans Opel team Ascona around the final stages back in Northern Ireland, nearly 5 minutes clear of Brooks Chevette, who finishes a splendid 2nd. Toivonen scores a valuable 3rd place after an heroic drive. But it is his teammate, Jimmy McRae, who sprays the champagne at Belfast City Hall on Tuesday afternoon after winning the Circuit of Ireland 3 times in a row. A brilliant hat-trick against the world's best.